Et nous saluons tout le monde, non pas moi, c'est Marc Lubin, nous connaissons que dans Mitan Kafoua, nous toujours recevons des rôles modèles. Des Haïtiens ordinaires qui font un travail extraordinaire, quel que soit côté eux à travers le monde, nous cherchons, nous menons sur le podium Mitan Kafoua. Podium Mitan Kafoua, nous connaissons pour moun sa yo c'est pas nous yo. Moun pas nous yo fait valeur nous, yo valoriser tête yo, quel que soit côté que eux. Et ça fait que yo grand pile importance pour nous. Et c'est rôle modèle qui déjà existait en dedans nation, nous pas créer yo, nous chercher yo, nous mener yo puis venir font parler avant. Les parler avant, ou ben inspiration. Côté ou après côté hier jodi a, ou te ka pile loin toujours ou te tande histoire moun sa yo. Eh bien jodi a rôle modèle que nous gagnons. Moun que n'a valorisé dans Mitan Kafoua, c'est monsieur Jean-Claude Brizard. Monsieur entre 1999 et 2003, il était principal George Westinghouse carrière dans l'école technique, c'est un high school. Après ça, monsieur vient superintendant. Ça veut dire c'est quand on ministre éducation que monsieur y est et en 2003 et monsieur était dans New York City. Qu'on y a entre 2008 et 2011, monsieur c'est superintendant dans Rochester, l'école toujours. Après ça, monsieur superintendant dans Chicago Public School de 2011 à 2012. Et je dis, monsieur occupé un grand poste comme conseiller et directeur général programme de une fondation de Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Pour y faire toute bagaille sur un pile sacrifice, un pile étude. Mais sous par contre histoire, vie monsieur Jean-Claude Brizard ou pas prendre qui sacrifice li fait pour le river côté le river jodia pour un rôle modèle pour nation haïtienne, un rôle modèle pour le monde entier. Eh bien, non pas moi c'est Marc Lubin, c'est rôle modèle ça que n'a recevoir jodia dans Mitan Kafoua. N'a pas une pause, mais avant faut me rappeler nous. Remez-nous sur Facebook. S'il vous plaît, abonnez, subscribe dans YouTube channel Mitan Kafoua. Ou besoin de prendre contact avec nous? Eh bien, relez-nous dans 305 557 23 22. Non pas moi encore, c'est Marc Lubin. Invité nous aujourd'hui, c'est monsieur Jean-Claude Brizard. N'a pas une pause, n'a pas retourner tout à l'heure. Eh bien, rôle modèle aujourd'hui, c'est monsieur Jean-Claude Brizard. Nabdou, bienvenue dans Mitan Kafoua. Jean-Claude, comment est?
I am doing well, thank you. Très bien, grâce à Dieu.
Ok. Vous faites en Haïti. Après ça, vous pouvez venir rentrer aux États-Unis. Il y a pile de circonstances, pile de bagailles qui passent qu'il faut rentrer vivre aux États-Unis. Et parlez-nous de enfance ou, prenons un petit détail de vous, pour les gens qui attendent, capable de connaître qui est Jean-Claude Brizard. Rôle modèle ça que nous menons aujourd'hui dans Mitan Kafoua pour vous.
I was born in Saint Michel de Matalaï, where my father and mother lived. My mother is from Grande-Rivière du Nord, so my papa and my mom vivent aux États-Unis. We all moved to Grande-Rivière to live at a grandmother, to live with our grandmother, and the formative years of my life were spent in Grande-Rivière, living with my mother's younger sister and my grandmother, my mom's mom, and it really was an amazing childhood because my cousins were near me. The same little place where we all lived. So many cousins, so many of us live in the same part of Grande-Rivière that, we played soccer, played football, we went to the same school, they called it Frère in Saint Michel, in Grande-Rivière. So we had a kind of childhood where, that we see in America around parents worrying about where their children are. We experienced, frankly, something that was very different, where we had uncles and aunts who looked out for us, and it was this kind of community that really raised us as young people. So it really was a terrific time of my life.
Ça veut dire que vous passez plus de temps en dehors de la capitale, là, dans Saint-Michel, avec. Est-ce que c'est là où commencez l'école primaire tout?
école des frères in Golivier, and Gita Haiti right before I enter secondary school to come to New York City, to come to Brooklyn, New York. But again, from birth until almost the age of 12, I lived in Golivier.
Ok, ça veut dire que l'on finit l'école secondaire, alors c'est le ça que vous rentrez aux États-Unis puis vous tombez Brooklyn. Alors c'est que à l'âge ça, est-ce que maman avec papa étaient déjà rentré aux États-Unis ou du moins c'est eux-mêmes qui parlent rentrer pour qu'on trouve une rentrer carrété en famille qui peut permettre qu'on continue études aux États-Unis?
Oui. So my parents left Haiti in 1970. And left because of Papa Doc, of François Duvalier. There's a long history that we can talk about with my grandfather spending time in prison because of Papa Doc, and my parents also escaping. My father did not get a visa into the U.S. My mother did. So my father ended up in parts of Africa, I think Senegal initially, and then Paris, and then made his way to the U.S. So we were separated as a family for at least 3 years. So let me explain more. We were left in Haiti with our grandmother and our aunt. My father was in North Africa, and then in France. My mom was in Brooklyn, and at the time there were 3 of us who were born and lived in Haiti. So my parents ultimately became undocumented because the visas had expired. And in 1973, they had my youngest brother who was born in Brooklyn. And unlike today, I guess in those days, if you have an American child, you're allowed to get a green card. And that's when they began the petition for us. And in 1976, all of us were reunited. So for nearly 6 years, I did not see my parents. I only saw things in letters and pictures. So it really was some work that had to be done, frankly, to get us to become a family again. But those kinds of experiences have never left me, and I would argue to this day it's driven the way I think about justice, the way I think about education, the way I think about the work that we need to do in this country, and frankly in Haiti as well too.
Alors c'est que dans l'époque ça, façon que tu es haïtien ou bien ou même qui rentrer quand tu es haïtien pour l'école, est-ce que qui gens approche la teye, qui gens yo te recevoir, comment société a teye?
Yeah, it wasn't great. So when we moved to Brooklyn in 1976, I went to a school called Lefkowitz Junior High School in Brooklyn, New York. And we at the time were called. I had kids who would tease and say, go back on your banana boat, go back home, because I didn't speak English, I didn't understand. And in those days, the bilingual education was very new. Was just developing in places like New York City. And so you didn't have the kind of access. But I have to tell you, the one thing that really did well for me and saved me was that there was a class created by Mr. Shirazar, one of our teachers, a Haitian teacher at Lefkowitz, who built a class just for Haitian kids. And this amazing man taught us everything. Math, science, social studies, everything was in the same class. And he nurtured us, he took care of us as if we were his children. And he reminded me, the way he taught reminded me of the kinds of experiences I had at the École des Frères in Glenrivier, and I flourished. I really did. And so I owe a huge debt of gratitude for this individual, this amazing Haitian man, and what he did for me, frankly, and the path he put me on to success.
Vous parlez de papa qui retrouvé en Afrique et maman qui retrouvé le boy ici parce que c'est lui-même qui était jeune, qui était un visa et tout ça. Et séparation ça, lui fait caractère et lui fait caractère dans gens et qui gens lui veut rendre beaucoup plus responsable ou du moins qui ça le ba ou en tant que monde ou pral venir et jodi avec toute expérience qu'on passé me garder tout à force un rapport avec éducation et net alcoolé.
So one thing I came to understand, and I frankly did because I'm married to a woman who's an expert in psychology, and she helped me understand the trauma I must have experienced, not seeing my mother for so many years, my father for so many years, frankly, especially at those tender ages. But the one thing that happened is that my family is such that they often talk about what they did in Haiti, the push they did for people in Haiti. And my parents helped me understand that they saw the world through a social justice lens. And to your point, that really has sort of formed my thinking and the kinds of fights I have to support young kids of color, young poor kids in this country. And in many ways, colors the kind of work I do with a woman named Jean Paul, which I think was on your show at one point, with the Afro-Haiti in Haiti. So the stories they told, the sacrifices they made sure we understood, that to make sure that we leveraged and understood what they had done, so we did better and gave back, frankly, because of the sacrifices they made in leaving the country they love so much, to then give us the life that we need to have, and the opportunities, frankly, that we had in this country.
Et l'eau étranger aux États-Unis ou bien quel que soit pays étranger, papier pour qu'on fin correct, langue pour qu'on fin correct. Et il y a une série de supports qu'on pas joindre. Et il y a des gens qui ont une scholarship, au Kansamdo, qui ont une bourse d'études, ou même qui n'ont pas en position pour joindre. Et arriver à l'école pour rentrer dans l'université, est-ce que c'est ton bagage qui était facile pour vous?
So for me, it was easy because by the time I got to university, because I was so young, I came here on a green card, and then ultimately in 1983 got my citizenship in the U.S. But as a former high school principal, we talk about Westinghouse High School in Brooklyn, New York. I met a number of kids, again Haitian kids, and I know one in particular who graduated number 2 in her class. She was the second smartest, highest achieving kid in that school in that year, and she was not going to go to college. And it took us a while to prod and understand the reason why was because she could not get financial aid because she did not have a Social Security card. So I often think about what is often referred to now as dreamers in this country, and what the kind of potential we're losing as a nation, or we're losing, frankly, because we have leaders who don't understand what immigrants bring to this country, whether it be Haitian immigrants or anybody else, what they bring in terms of sort of capacity, intelligence, and what they could do to this country. You think about, I think about my own family and say that if we didn't have the opportunity, I have a sister who was a social worker, a brother who was an assistant principal. I think all of us as siblings, I think, have done well to support the infrastructure, to support the growth of this country. And if we didn't have the opportunity, can you imagine, again, the loss? And I often think about that in correlation to the number of people that we seem to be throwing away. I think with this administration and what they're doing to discourage young people from accessing this American dream and certainly contributing to this nation. It's short-sighted and certainly it's dumb.
Et il y a une chose que m'a demandé, c'est que le m'a regardé ou commencer comme principal. Est-ce que tu as un travail côté fait avant qu'on rentre dans la question de l'éducation? Est-ce que tu as un autre travail côté pour être capable de supporter tout et puis faire ce qu'on pour faire en tant que jeune garçon?
Oui. So the Sydney College, my degree was in chemistry, so that was the first place I went to, and I wanted, like a lot of the Haitian kids, I wanted to be a doctor, and I wanted to go to medical school after getting my chemistry degree, but I realized very quickly that medicine was not for me. So I went on to get an advanced degree in chemistry, and then ended up in education. But the way I ended up in teaching was almost by accident, because my initial goal again was to be a chemist or to be a doctor, realizing that in America to be a chemist you need to have a doctor's degree, you have to have a PhD. So my bachelor's degree, my master's degree drove me to consider thinking about doing something else. And my mother, a former teacher, said to me, why don't you try this for a while, and you can keep going to school because you'll have time after school in the summers. So I gave it a shot. With my first teaching job was at a place called Rikers Island in Queens, New York. Mm-hmm. And that experience changed me. I met a young man at Rikers who looked very much like me, both in terms of color and size, and even, I would say, even demeanor. This young man was 19 years of age, could not read, could barely function mathematically. And in 6 months of working with him, this young man was nearing pre-algebra work. Brilliant young African-American boy who had not been in school since the 5th grade. And I kept wondering what we had lost in terms of a potential PhD in mathematics in this country, mm-hmm. and frankly, what we could do to get ahead of these kinds of problems. So I left Rikers and went to teach at a middle school in Bushwick, Brooklyn, New York, and began to do what I thought I could do to be proactive and preventive. I said, I'll do this for a few years and I'll go back to school. And then, of course, I got the bug. So I stayed there for 4 years, went to a high school in Brooklyn, became a teacher of physics there, became an assistant principal there, and ultimately became principal of that school in downtown Brooklyn. And, and the rest, frankly, is the history you talked about earlier on. But, at times you may have a plan as to what you want to do with your life, but when certain qualities and things are ingrained in you as a person, again, go back to my parents in this push on social justice, then you realize, frankly, what your life's calling is about, what you need to do to make the world better. We talk about creating the good society, and that has driven me for the last 30 plus years in education.
Ça, c'est un bel résumé de parcours. Mais parcours apparaît là, parce que pour les gens qui sont aux États-Unis, parce que nous connaissons qui un pays a fonctionné, et m'a regardé au vin principal George Westinghouse, OK, l'école technique de juin 1999 à 2003, et puis si nous allons jusqu'à 2012, tout côté au passé c'est comme directeur superintendant. Est-ce que job ça ce sont des jobs qui faciles pour moun joindre et qui genre de préparation pour en tant que moun et en tant que professionnel pour gagner au niveau comportement pour qu'à viser et arriver à l'interview et puis dans mi-temps pile monde qui vient pour c'est que yo prend.
So yes, the jobs are not easy. They're very difficult jobs. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that my parents also taught me, which a lot of parents who have kids who again black boys, who really understand that sometimes, a lot of times, we have to work harder than the average person to get to where we want to get to. Mm-hmm. So there are two things I learned, and now, frankly, when you look at the way schools are being designed, they're much more explicit around those two kinds of skills. But my parents taught me that too a long time ago, that the academic or technical skill that you have is only part of the work. The mindset that you develop, and that's called the social and emotional competency that you develop to do well in those environments are important. So one, when I was a principal, so one thing I have said is I've only applied for a handful of jobs in my life. And again, I'm not bragging, but a lot of jobs I've had have come to me. So in the case of my, when I left Westinghouse High School, I didn't apply for a job in the Central Office District. I was called downtown and I was asked, would you consider the following? And if you were to ask why you're calling me, my boss at the time, he became chancellor of the schools of New York City Schools a few years ago, would say that I like what you do. You work very hard. You're tenacious in how you approach the work, and one can clearly see within you a determination to solve complex problems. So that's the kind of offer I got. Then when I became head of the high school division in New York City, and at the time, in New York City, I had 400 high schools, and I was managing 400 high schools. That job was offered to me as well. And so when you walk into these positions, you bring your best self, right? Not just in terms of your academic or the degrees that you have, because that at times will only get you into the door. But the way the way you should show up as a person, the kind of mindset you have, I think, is actually more critical sometimes than the degrees you actually bring to bear. So I've been lucky as well in the sense that I have had great mentors, folks who have supported my development. But at the same time, you think about that as an individual, as a person working, you have to have the mindset of seeking individuals who will provide the kinds of mentoring that you need to actually grow. And I've never been, throughout my career, I've had really amazing education leaders and others, frankly, who have always been there. But again, as a person, I always sought that kind of relationship, that kind of development, which I think has helped me quite a bit. And as a black person in America, unless you find that kind of network, that kind of social network to build your social capital, to support and enable you, it's a very, very difficult thing to do in this country.
Again, you know, m'a regardé dans résumé un peu d'informations que m'a li qui devant là, qui dit que toute approche qu'on fait dans toute position qu'on passe, s'il pas un aspect social et lié avec la famille, ou pas sentir à l'aise, et c'est toujours direction ça qu'on toujours prend. Et qui ça qui influence ou qui faut où est la vie ou est travail ou c'est comme ça pour lier.
Yeah, I think I got most of the question. I want to try. If I don't answer the question, please push. I talk about mentors. I talk about the support that I have, but I also have a pretty large and close-knit family. My mother is one of many children. So I have a lot of aunts and uncles. Many of them have passed away for different reasons, cancer being most prevalent in my mother's side of the family. But when you have a family reunion and 200 people are there, and we all sort of get into that networking, we talk about accomplishments, we talk about supporting each other. If one of my nephews or someone needs help or has a question, you always make yourself available to support, because that kind of family support is as instrumental. But let me give you a very specific thing I always did. Whenever I was offered a job or was thinking about applying for one of these jobs, and no matter how big they were, I sat with my mom and I said, this is what I'm thinking about going for. This is what's been offered to me. What do you think? And the first question she often asked me was, who's going to be a boss? Tell me about him or her. Because I guess what I learned to understand over time was that what she was testing was to see if I was going to be working for someone who was going to nurture my development. She didn't care about the job. She didn't care about how much money it was going to be. She wanted to see me grow, and she was always concerned and interested if that person we were working for was a good person and someone who was going to further my development. So in that sense, I have been, I guess, both lucky and I would argue at times strategic in getting the right kind of individuals, both family and others, to really better support my development.
OK. Quand il y a là, on a rentrer dans plus de détails parce qu'on passe plusieurs côtés. Et souvent, on a regardé Chicago. Et yo Chicago dans la télévision, genre de film qui ont monté et ils ont montré que son côté que en pile bagaille négatif qui a passé. Et pourtant, nous avons un paquet, nous avons une grande communauté haïtienne qui est Chicago, nous avons un paquet haïtien qui professeur dans l'université, nous avons haïtien qui était superintendant, quand on ministre d'éducation, quand on même qui est un rôle modèle pour eux. Parlez-nous de expérience Chicago et font-ils parler nous de communauté haïtienne ça. Assurément que vous avez contact avec dans Chicago.
So it's a great question. So one thing about the community in Chicago, and the Haitian community is pretty prevalent, and it is something I did not know, and I quickly understood and learned. But I'm also going to say the Black American community in Chicago is also pretty prevalent and amazing. So when you see a Black person becoming the chief executive officer in Chicago, what I became very quickly was a role model for a lot of kids. Someone who engaged in that community, both in the Haitian and the African American community, very quickly. and frankly welcome with open arms. I think what the mayor at the time, and if you don't know who he is, for the public here, was Ron Emanuel. He worked for Obama for a while, chief of staff, and I went to work for him. I think what he did not fully appreciate and understand was how quickly I was going to permeate that community. As a person of color, this was the first time the system has had a black man who is an educator in charge. They had one African American before, but again, for the first time, they had an African American male as educator in charge of the school system. And we quickly found our way into people's living rooms and dining rooms and having conversations, which I think was a positive for the community, but wasn't really a positive for my relationship with the mayor, because politicians love to be the ones in front, and when your polling becomes that much better, that much quicker, often you find yourself in political hot water. In fact, you would ask at times, why do people like you so much? Because again, you found that. And the one thing I also learned very quickly, which I'm sure the public knows, may know, is that the city of Chicago was created by a Haitian. And that community galvanized very quickly to support me. So I had an amazing time dealing with folks, including, by the way, an amazing reception to me when I got to Chicago. Chicago is a complex city with a complex history around race relations. W.E. Du Bois has written a number of books on called the trilogy in chronicles the city of Chicago and its history. So when you look at the pervasive racial issues in the city, you begin to understand the things we have to battle. And some of that stuff is pretty complex in terms of the politics of that city. Chicago is an amazing city, but has a racist history. And these were things we begin to take on head on. And not everybody, frankly, was always happy about that. So lots of amazing things happened in Chicago. We had the highest gains in academic achievement in the city's history in the shortest amount of time. So we built an amazing set of structures and systems, including, by the way, having to close an annual $700 to $800 million gap. We also were dealing with some real crime issues. Every Monday morning, I was making calls anywhere from 7 to 16 parents whose kids had been killed that weekend. So you begin to appreciate how the city was balkanized, how different parts were doing really well, and how some parts were not doing very well. And you can see the differences. But again, got myself really involved in the Black church, really involved in the Catholic church in the south of Chicago, and again, addressing not just the academic issues, but the stuff we know was impacting the academic achievement of young people. Ultimately, what happened was we had a leadership, meaning our mayor was having his fights with the teachers union, and of course, as the chief executive, you always get caught in the middle of the stuff. And a strike happened. The teachers went out on strike in Chicago. And, if you look at the press, you look at the reporting around the strike, my name is seldom mentioned because the leadership of the union told me very explicitly, this is not about you. This is a fight we're having with the political machine here, and we need to do something. But in essence, what happens, of course, is you get caught in the middle, and then you realize that your relationship with the mayor, at least my relationship with the mayor, soured, especially when there was a mandate to close 100 schools or 130 schools in the city. It was not something I could do in good conscience, knowing that we'd be hurting a lot of kids. So quickly made a decision the fall of 2012 that I'd been there, just about a year and a half, and said, you know what, there's no winning this fight, and I am not going to do things that go against my core values, that go against my belief system. And a lot of advice from a lot of friends and mentors will say to me, get out. And that was when, again, with tremendous amount of pain, frankly, I made the decision to resign from that position in Chicago. But it is an amazing city with a very troubled history.
Malgré tout ça dit là, parce que je vais regarder toujours, faites une recherche pour vous. Côté on dit que malgré aller progrès que l'école Chicago fait rete même gens et c'est grâce à eux-mêmes. Si c'est pas eux-mêmes au niveau monde noir, au niveau monde qui parle espagnol, ça veut dire les latinos, progrès gagnant pas t'a fait. C'est approche, persistance et persévérance et vision qui fait que gain progrès ça qui fait et le rete jusqu'à aujourd'hui. Comment on sent tous les dit ça de vous?
You know, so it makes me smile and makes me feel as if we have done something of value. But the one thing I'll say though is that we took amazing work that was done by Arnie Duncan. We took amazing work that was done by Red Huberman, the two people who preceded me, and we build on that. But again, we often look at addressing root cause, systemic issues, and I was talking about systemic racism. So we talked about that. We begin to engage in that conversation because we knew this was not about sort of myopically saying we're going to increase the reading scores here, but how do you fundamentally change the system to begin to benefit the lives of poor Black and brown or Latino kids? And that's why we attack. It's not the sexy work. It is not what makes for the headlines. But we know fundamentally to move the system is what you have to do. And we often think about sort of making sure that you do, again, is not, what I say is leadership neutral, so it stays and persists and continues. And that's what I think we did in a very short amount of time. And I'll tell you, I had an exit interview on National Public Radio, WBEZ in Chicago, and the guy who was interviewing me says, my God, you did a lot in a relatively small amount of time. And my response was, can you imagine if we had 5 years, how much we could have done in this city? Mm-hmm. But the good news, again, is that the woman who's there right now, she was one of our principals. She's terrific. And many of us are supporting her on the sidelines. And I'm really I'm happy she was selected. And I have good expectation as to what's going to be happening in the city moving forward.
C'est que, Jean-Claude, regarde l'histoire pays, regarde l'histoire Chicago, là on a une interview, yo do yon bagay pareil. Et puis, regarde l'histoire pays, regarde famille. Qui j'en sens tout?
You know, I travel a fair amount for my work. And every time I get into a cab, especially if I'm talking to, a cab driver who's from parts of Africa or parts of the Caribbean, and sometimes, frankly, it's a white cab driver who sees my name and says, "Are you French?" I said, "No, I'm Haitian." And he goes, "Oh, it's a poor country." And I said, "Let me tell you about my country." The same way I do the same thing with cab drivers who maybe of African descent or African or Caribbean. Mm-hmm. And I explained to them that it is the first post-colonial free Black nation in the world. It is the only successful slave rebellion in history, and a country that was made to pay reparations to France for 148 years. Despite that, it is a resilient country. It is one where amazing things happen. It is a country built by freed people. And I gave them the history so they understand the tenacity and the resilience that Haitians have as a people, and that, what the headlines show around earthquakes or whatever it may be, that is a powerful culture there, one that has built this country, this American country, that has built others, and that, frankly, is what drives me. Let me give you another story. Mm-hmm. I was in Rochester, New York, and Obama was elected. I got a call from the press, and they wanted me to give a statement, and asked me, so what do you think? We have a Black president. I said, that's a wonderful thing for America. I said, growing up, my president was always Black. My teachers were always Black. My principal was Black. I said, my role models and folks I look to always look like me. And so my opportunity ceiling, my expectation of achievement is always unlimited. Mm-hmm. I don't put limits on what I can do. And that comes from growing up in a country, where the people have that level of resilience. Mm-hmm. I never minimize the challenges that we have in Haiti. I never do. I know it will take collective effort by the diaspora and the folks who are in Haiti to, frankly, help our country get better each time. but we have a history we have to lean on. We have a trajectory and a culture that I think is bar none some of the best in the world, and we have to cherish and leverage that. It's one of the reasons that, with our work with SAFYT, we talk about this idea of civic identity, building that into the teacher leaders that we actually work with. And civic identity is defined as knowing who you are in relation to your community, what you owe your community, and what it owes you. So many of us who have left Haiti, and again, I left a long time ago, but I have never forgotten what I owe this nation, what I owe the people of Haiti, and it's the reason, frankly, I've always looked for ways of giving back, and the reason why I've been with Najin at SAFYT all of these years. It is my way of leveraging what I know, the resources I have at my disposal, to support the nation of my birth.
Ça veut dire que dans quel que soit job qu'on prend, quel que soit côté où dans tout job comme moi qu'on passe yo. Premier bagage qu'on te dit tête m'a demandé, est-ce qu'on dit en tant qu'haïtien, faut me faire valoir pays en tant que qui sorti dans famille unie, il faut que nous restions unis et que m'a continuer prouver que nous avons des mondes valables et qui a fait une différence quel que soit côté au passé et pour connaître que c'est Haïti qui a fait différence ça là. Est-ce que c'est comme ça vous pensez?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I always make public that I'm Haitian and this is where I'm from. So people understand that the value that we bring to the conversation is being done by somebody from that country. Especially when you have people whose perception is it's a black poor country. Right? You hear this narrative about that, and I have to work very hard to make sure one, they understand me, who I am, and this is what I'm bringing to the conversation, and why I protect, frankly, that reputation, that value system that my family and my mentors and my country brought for me.
Est-ce que ça qu'on arrive des fois qu'on hésite, qu'on prend une interview pour prendre un job et pour garder tête à partir de tout bail négatif qu'on a dit de Haïti et puis où sont monde qui noir et pour parler et pour dire que tu n'as pas prendre dans job ça bien que j'ai toute potentialité toute connaissance ça et puis parce que moi je ne dois pas prendre. Est-ce que ça qu'on arrive des fois qu'on hésite et si ça arrive comment que vous faites pour retirer le dans tête et puis pour gagner une victoire? Ou connaît qu'on a vu un job là?
No, of course it does. There's something I talk about. So, I've been in America about 40 years. And what I say to people is that I've been in America long enough to have internalized the microaggressions and the oppressions of this country. At the same time, because I was born in Haiti, because I spent nearly 12 years of my life there, I have something to fall back on to lift me out of that mindset and that negative thinking. So yes, you think about it all of the time, but then you have this self-talk, right? Because no, I know what I'm doing. I know I bring value to this, and if you don't select me, it's your loss.
Yeah.
I'm going to come and
as a teacher,
my best self to this conversation.
As a teacher, what I'm trying to get from you, because we have a lot of young people that living in America listening to us. We have those that are in Haiti listening to us. They are looking for inspiration. Ils ont cherché inspiration. Ils ont besoin de comprendre. Et m'd'a pour moi en tant qu'un professeur et que qu'on y a parlé avec un groupe de monde et vous dire comment ça passé, qu'est-ce tête nous, ramasser tête nous. Mais qui est nous yé? Mais qui côté nous ka aller et mais qui j'aime te faire pour m'arriver là, nous même nous ka arriver. C'est ça m'a cherché dans moi. Est-ce qu'on cap bon petit bagage comme ça, Jean-Claude?
Yeah, let me try. So one thing I used to say to my students.
Et souvent moi la créole m'a pi bien content toujours mélanger ba yo. One thing I talk about often with my kids when I was in schools is that mindset is everything, right? And the second thing, which is really important beyond mindset, is your social network. The folks you have around you, you leverage that. I watch young white kids who do that very well, who understand that they're going to leverage the people they know to get access, because you have to get in the door to demonstrate who you are. The resume may not give enough
So one is be absolutely as perfect as possible in your paperwork. There's nothing more discouraging to see a cover letter or resume with grammatical errors. The moment you see that, people are dismissed. It doesn't take much to do that. And when you show up, even if it doesn't say dress a certain way, you dress a certain way. You dress for the part. And when you come in, you bring your best self. You show up on time. You do your homework. You ask, because you interview the group as much as they're interviewing you, and you try to ask really good questions when you come to these interviews. So I did 2 interviews today. I'm hiring someone here at the Gates Foundation, and their content expertise, the resume is always great. I mean, they went to good universities. They have amazing degrees. What I'm filtering for, what I'm looking for, is someone who has the right mindset, who's going to fit the team, who's not going to bring drama to my place, someone I'm not going to have to micromanage. I don't have time for that. So you look for that kind of independent individual. So as a young person, as you are going through schools, building that social capital, that social network, making friends and staying connected, I think is important. When you meet with adults who are in industries, you demonstrate and you present yourself in a way that people will remember you. All these things, I think, matter, and I would argue matter as much as, and if not, times more important than the credential, the degree that you have. That may get you your resume in front of someone, but you're not going to be past the front door unless you demonstrate in a non-technical, non-academic way that you have the right attitude, the right mindset for this work. And again, if you have that network where you know somebody inside, it just makes it that much easier for you to get there. And so one last thing. One thing I often talk about, people ask me, what would you want to go to a top-tier university? What's important about those places is not just the name of the college in your resume, but the friends you're going to make. You go back to this idea of social network. The friends you're going to make, the people you're going to meet and stay close to, and the access they're going to give to you will help you get down the road. That is invaluable.
Et aujourd'hui, où c'est conseiller et où c'est directeur qui est responsable chapitre, organisation ou bien fondation et Bill and Melinda Gates. Pour arriver dans position ça, combien de temps ça prend et qui démarche qui fait pour arriver là? Comment tu fait connaître job ça?
So it's a great job at this time in my career. I've been in education for 32 years. And my job is, again, I always wanted to just do an amazing job and help people, which has helped me move along the way. I thought the superintendency and then maybe go to a university and teach was going to be the end of my career. But this job at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, again, is not a job I applied for. I got a call from somebody here, someone I knew, because like this idea of a network, right? Somebody I knew who said they're looking for someone to be a senior fellow to help with a couple of strategies. Do you know anyone, or would you be interested? And I said, sure. And I came, by the time I left heading to the airport to go back home, I got a call in the car offering me the job. And I was supposed to be a fellow, but within 4 months, I became a conseiller, and I became a deputy director at the foundation here very quickly. Because again, even though I had all these years of experience, 30 years of experience, I was a chief executive of a major city school system. I walked into this place knowing, again, as a black man with an accent, that I knew I was going to prove myself again and again. So you never take things for granted. So I did that here, and within a few months, I have this permanent position now where I have this kind of access and leverage. But again, everything I've been talking about in terms of what it takes to be successful are things I've never forgotten, and you never take for granted that what you've done is enough to propel you forward, that you keep working to prove that you belong here. Those are things I never forget.
Et ça que moi remarqué tout, ou investi dans programme monde, ou investi dans le monde. Et c'est extrêmement important. Ou gen maman avec papa, au niveau gens ou yé, façon faire affaire professionnellement et personnellement, à qui est-ce ou peut sembler et au niveau façon agir?
Let me try to understand. You said, who do I look
You
like
feel
this?
that you feel
My
yeah,
mother.
you know, the way you do your thing professionally, okay, and personally, which one do you think you are closer in your way of doing things in general?
I love. So because both my parents have passed away, I love my father, but I would say I'm more like my mother. You know, I was a pretty tenacious individual, and you know, yeah, I would say I have a temperament in many ways.
Mais est-ce que vous avez un mauvais jour? Et là, vous avez un mauvais jour sans tout que soit pas qu'à continuer. Qui ça motive qui fait bon courage pour dire ah Jean-Claude pas camper. Jean-Claude a poussé plus devant. Qui ça motive?
Yeah, so it's two things I would say. One, I always try to remember what we often refer to as the bottom line. What is it that we are working towards? So if I get really depressed, I listened to an advice given to me a long time ago by a mentor, a woman named Rose DePinto in New York City, who said to me, you're going to get angry, you're going to get upset, you're going to get sad. When you do, go find a good teacher in the classroom and sit there, engage, you'll understand and remember what this is really all about, and you'll do that. So I do that even in my current job, because I still work with a ton of school districts across a number of different states across the country. I will go to visit the school because that tends to strengthen me again. The second thing I do is really a lot of fun. I'm a licensed commercial pilot, and yeah, I find that flying often is a way for me to see society from a different perspective. So I'll go, I'll rent an airplane and I'll go fly around. I'll go fly somewhere, and as I'm flying above, I don't know, 6, 7, 10,000 feet, you see a city, you see a region from the air, and it puts everything in perspective. When you understand that, you know, there is a big world out there, and as people have problems and have issues, yes, can at times be quite myopic. But so that is another escape that I had at Disney Center.
Et pas regarder dans Chicago News School et côté Réconatique, il dit que monsieur qui est Jean-Claude Brizard là, c'est pas un qui jamais fait bac devant aucun et challenge ou bien défi que mettre devant. Yo pas qu'à comprendre ça. Entendez. Et puis kounya la m'a regardé ou t'es pas un prix et yo bon prime et c'est dans New York collègue et qui ba ou li et pour qui ça yo te ba au prix ça. So qu'a parler de lui.
Yeah, so I've gotten a lot of awards and recognitions in Chicago, different places. You know, and for different things and different reasons.
Et qui est nan youn qui est beaucoup plus important pour comprendre?
Wow. You know, I think I would say the most important thing I've ever gotten was a painting a student had drawn of me. He took my picture. He was in Chicago. He took my picture, and he drew. I mean, he painted a picture of me. I was thinking about it. It also happened in Rochester. Those two things to this day hang in my house. Because for me, it was a young person showing appreciation for what I was trying to do, what I was doing for them. That I've always cherished. I mean, I have a lot of awards and stuff I have in my house, but those two, I would say, frankly, have been paramount. But to the question around, you know, seeking challenges, you know, it's not always about. I'm not always wanting to go find tough things to do, but if you lean on social justice as the way you do things, you're not going to want to work in places where you're not tackling tough challenges. You're going to want to seek out those places where the challenge is greatest. Even in my work now at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, a lot of my efforts are in parts of this country that are about supporting kids who are poor, black, and brown, and making sure they're making amazing progression from pre-K all the way to college, and supporting citywide systems to better enable kids to get to university. That is the work, and in the kids we focus on, again, not the rich kids, but the kids of poor, black, and Latino.
Eh bien, dans moment ça là, n'a prend pause et côté que n'a rappelé tout le monde que on a Mitan Kafoua. Non pas moi c'est Marc Lubin. Ou venez nous sur YouTube, s'il vous plaît, abonnez, subscribe. Remets-nous sur Facebook et puis abonnez dans la chaîne YouTube Mitan Kafoua et faites des commentaires. Et supportez-nous, relez-nous dans 305 557 23 22. Pas oublier, Mitan Kafoua, li fait pour moun sa yo. Moun kankou Jean-Claude Brizard. Ce sont des moun que nous croisons dans les portes, nous croisons chaque jour. Et chaque jour que moun sa levé, à que le poser, li fait pour valoriser nation. Et nous-mêmes, nous jouissons de bénéfices ça gratis sans que nous pas jamais dit moun sa yo merci. Et Mitan Kafoua, moun sa yo qui investi dans progrès, tout le monde sans que yo même yo pas ouais tête yo les a fait, c'est moun sa yo que yo mène que nous mener dans Mitan Kafoua pour nous capable valoriser. Tant qu'on me dit, ce sont des rôles modèles qui existaient dans la nation haïtienne, quel que soit côté yo. N'a mené au sous podium ça pour capable partager vie personnelle yo, vie professionnelle yo, sacrifice que yo fait pour yo arriver côté yo arriver, comment yo valoriser pays yo, comment yo valoriser ou même cap tendez et côté ou besoin inspiration qui pour aider ou même tout progresser dans la vie ça. Non pas moi c'est Marc Lubin. Pour capable prendre contact avec nous, c'est 305 557 23 22. Pas oublier tout. Émission patronnée par l'école publique Mahamided ou même qui besoin apprendre nos métiers. Numéro de téléphone ça qui met dans tête tout. 305 558 80 00. Ensemble 305 558 80 00. Pas oublier abonnez, subscribe dans YouTube channel Mitan Kafoua, remets-nous dans Facebook, fais amis avec nous dans Facebook. Là, n'a toujours mené des rôles modèles qui existaient. Moun sa yo qui moun pa nou yo k'ap fait valeur nous, quel que soit côté yo. Yo moun kankou monsieur Jean-Claude Brizard aujourd'hui. N'a pris une petite pause, n'a retourner tout à l'heure.
T'en prie, inscrit, abonné, subscribe dans YouTube channel Mitan Kafoua. Remets-nous tout sur Facebook, like us on Facebook, Mitan Kafoua. T'en prie, inscrit, abonné, subscribe dans YouTube channel Mitan Kafoua. Remets-nous sur Facebook, like us on Facebook, Mitan Kafoua.
Eh bien, non pas moi, c'est Marc Lubin. Nous retournons dans Mitan Kafoua avec invité nous aujourd'hui à rôle modèle qui existait que nous pas crié, que nous allons chercher pour nous mener baou sous podium Mitan Kafoua. C'est monsieur Jean-Claude Brizard. Jean-Claude, vous travaille dans Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Est-ce qu'on peut parler nous de une journée de travail dans la fondation ça? À qui l'heure commence et qui l'heure finit?
Oh, he commences very good. So we don't have 7 a.m. times, but typically I'm here by 7 a.m. And so maybe about 6 p.m. We have a fair number of meetings, strategy discussions, conversations, funding mechanisms, who we fund, but also spend a fair amount of time in community since my work is so based in community. We'll meet with superintendents, we'll meet with school principals, we'll meet with leaders in the community. So like we'll meet with the deputy mayor in the mayor's office, sometimes the governor's office, depending on where we are. So a lot of meetings, a lot of strategy conversations, but all around the ways in which we are implementing a particular set of strategies and how we're funding the efforts in different parts of these communities.
Est-ce que vous considérez tout qu'un couillon haïtien a succès? Et si c'est ça, et ça fait succès?
No, we. So I think about a lot the totality of your experience as a young person and how that drives the success you have. and it goes back to my earlier discussion around tenacity and mindset. Being born in that country, being born of the parents that I had, I think had a lot to do, frankly, with who I am, and I would argue, frankly, my success. So, which is why I keep saying I owe a great debt of gratitude to the country where I was born.
Mm-hmm. Alors, on fait plus de temps aux États-Unis qu'en Haïti. Qui ça qui manque de pays qui sont regrette, qui sont à rejoindre dans le pays?
I go to Haiti every year. I think last year was the only year I didn't go in the last maybe 7 years. So I live right down in California. If I had to say one big thing I can think very quickly is the food in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. I don't get enough of what I love around Duikole. So I miss my Haitian cooking. My wife is not Haitian, so she tries to cook it. So whenever I go to New York, first thing I do is I look for a Haitian restaurant. I miss my food.
Alors c'est que là où vivent dans deux cultures et on paquet temps aux États-Unis côté que on prend plusieurs positions. Si nous t'appelons pour comparer et expérience qu'on fait aux États-Unis avec Haïti, qui ça que ou ouais que on doit dire dans pays nous et que nous doit peut-être intégrer dans le système pas nous qui va permettre que nous aller plus loin toujours, nous progresser d'une manière beaucoup plus rapide et durable. Qui sont à dire?
So it is something we think about. So certainly there are many more opportunities here in the U.S. around jobs and around career that I wish we could replicate, frankly, in Haiti. We have some work to do to make that happen. The schooling system, I think what I experienced again in this precious years in Haiti, in the schools and in family and in community, I think were foundational and supported our efforts. What we know on education systems and outcomes, I think we need to also learn the best of what we're learning right now in the U.S. that could also be brought to bear in Haiti. But if I have to talk about one thing, it's the kind of economic infrastructure that we need to build in Haiti to keep the talent, to keep folks and to keep working in the country. Because when you have a young person who finishes university and then they have a degree, they can get a job, they're going to leave. So for me, that's what I would love us to keep talking about. Yes, keep building our education system in Haiti, but fundamentally we also talk about economic security. Because, if everything we do in education often is about a means to an end, and the means is to getting someone on the economic ladder to do well. That infrastructure, we've got to do much more to build. And there's a lot that we're learning here in the U.S. that could be applied. Some of the work I do in Texas, for instance, are things I think can be applicable in Haiti. And in the work that we do with our SAFE-YIT, especially with the teacher leaders who, when they're done with the program, that they bring back to their community, I think is really important in terms of their understanding. And what I'm thinking about is how I can support those individuals better in leveraging what other countries have learned around the economic infrastructure. And by the way, there are places in this country, in the U.S., that face similar challenges. And you'd be amazed as to the level of challenges some of these places here. But you find that at times the collective effort by community can begin to change the narrative. And these individuals who are graduating, I think, ultimately will help support the greater infrastructure of the country.
Et sous pas dans le domaine de l'éducation, et ou pas travail pour Melinda Gates qui a fait différence dans la vie de tout le monde et jeune monde en général dans la façon qu'on fait travail partout. Et qui métier tu as bien?
It's been so long. I don't know if I could have done something else. I love the work I do. I love education, but I think what I've evolved into is the understanding of the kind of coalition building is required for the education outcomes. And maybe getting into community level work where you are supporting what is often referred to in this country as collective impact. So collective community effort, I think would be terrific. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I could go work for one of these people. Maybe I could be teaching in university, building a cadre of leadership. But again, it's hard to imagine after 32 years doing anything else, because so much of what I do is not just about getting a child to read and to write and to add. It really is about propelling someone toward a post-secondary degree that will give them access to economic security. And for that to happen, we understand the work is much bigger than just the schools, but everything else needs to happen to better support a young person toward that goal. So, yeah, it's hard to imagine doing anything else after 3 decades.
Et façon qu'on parle, au fait, nous connaissons que succès, pas aucun succès qui a fait sans éducation. Et ma boy, il y a 2 minutes, et un groupe élève qui devant, et que pour expliquer, non seulement valeur pays, mais valeur éducation gagnée pour être capable de succès, un meilleur avenir. Qui soit à dire?
You know, so that it depends on the age, right? Of the young person. So to give you an example, I have 4 children, and I have a daughter from my first marriage who's 18. We just started college. She's a first-year university student. It is now we're talking about lifelong success. It is now we're talking about what it is she wants to do to be happy in life. But we'll give her a living wage as well. Now we're talking about, again, this idea of happiness, but happiness in what context, right? And how do you get there? With my younger kids, I have 3 boys who are ages 9, 7, and 4, very young. It's really about, for me right now, it's about finding those places where they're going to go to school and then just enjoy the process of learning. Not every school will do that. So for them, they're too young to understand the idea of getting a great job, the idea of really having, a wonderful family. They're way too young. But the daily, weekly, monthly sort of joy of learning. You read with them, you get them excited about wanting to know more. You find an environment so that kind of nurturing for them, which is why I fight so hard, and my wife and I fight so hard to make sure our kids are in the right schools. Because education itself is about human development. And when you understand that, you understand this is about developing a person, not just building their reading and math scores. Those things are important, but they're not sufficient to build that person. So it's the joy and knowledge in the everyday that I know drives my kids. It's moving from extrinsic motivation, meaning if you do well in this math test, I'm going to give you a switch. I'm going to buy you something. I'm going to buy you whatever, take you to dinner. But it's about getting them to really appreciate and love it and understand the joy of learning. That requires a skill on the part of both a parent and the teachers in the school, which is why the kind of school the child goes to is so critical. As they get older, yes, they'll be able to understand the longer trajectory of people. So when I was a teacher of physics in high school, for instance, what I worked really hard to do was to get my kids to really get excited and curious about the universe, curious about science. We focus on what they call inquiry, getting them to ask questions about what they were seeing around them. You made the homework fun. You made the classroom as engaging as possible. Even when I worked in that jail, that was what we did to try and motivate young people to get excited about learning. As they get older, yes, you begin to make those connections to lifelong happiness and outcome.
Et j'ai l'impression que si m'ta bon job côté que li pas ta moyen pour faire moun progresser, pour éduquer moun, ou tout dit non merci, même si m'a bon $1 million par mois. Est-ce que c'est vrai? Même si me paye $1 million par mois pour m'ta bon job côté que pas gain éducation là-dedans pour aider moun progresser, pour aller plus devant et plus loin, ou pas prendre job ça non même.
No, maybe I would take it for 3 months or 4 months to make some money. But I wouldn't be happy. And frankly, as I said, both my parents are passed away. And when you look at, ultimately, when you look back on your life, and you say, what have I done? And you have to think about what some of my colleagues refer to as moving from success, significance. When you think about your life and the way folks will talk about you when you leave, when you think about what makes you happy, that has to come first. Money does not make people happy. It resolves a lot of painful issues, but ultimate happiness does not come from having money.
Okay. Eh bien, Jean-Claude, Nabdou, merci. Nous valorisons dans Mitan Kafoua. Et tant qu'on me dit Mitan Kafoua, c'est pour dire moun kankou yo. Moun sa yo, c'est moun panou yo. Chaque jour levé, tout ça on fait. Ou fait, faut valoriser tête, tout c'est vrai. Mais on valoriser nous-mêmes tout en tant qu'haïtiens. Parce que, kounya là, si on me dit Jean-Claude Brizard, la kon qui est lié, la kon qui sont fait. Et me souhaite qu'un pile monde qui pral tande et abjwen inspiration pour capable avancer puis devant dans tout ça que y a fait. Nous disons merci pour participation dans Mitan Kafoua. Mais avant que vous allez, est-ce qu'on peut dire ensemble avec nous, on valoriser tête nous dans Mitan Kafoua? On allait 1, 2, 3. On valoriser tête nous dans Mitan Kafoua. Eh bien, Jean-Claude, nous disons merci pour participation dans Mitan Kafoua. Nous valorisons dans Mitan Kafoua. Merci pour tout ça qu'on fait pour capable faire haïtien briller tout côté au passé dans tout ça qu'on fait. Et comme vous voulez, nous valorisons et nous aimons un pile.
Merci. I thank you very much. Merci beaucoup for allowing me to be on the show.
OK. Je dis tout le monde merci. Non pas moi, c'est Marc Lubin. Pas oublier, remets-nous dans Facebook, abonnez, subscribe dans YouTube channel Mitan Kafoua. Au besoin de supporter nous, au besoin quitter un message pour nous, suggérer et faites-nous des suggestions, pas de problème. 305 557 23 22. Non pas moi, c'est Marc Lubin. C'était Mitan Kafoua. On continue, valoriser tête nous dans Mitan Kafoua. Merci, à la prochaine.
Mitan Kafoua.